Hey there, happy Saturday. It is the weekend. It is June 17th, 2017. I am meteorologist Mike Griffith here for US Weather Pro, and we're looking at the Northern Hemisphere water vapor imagery. And of course, what's of interest is all this tropical activity down in here. These are the colder cloud tops and more moisture in the red or white areas, and the darker areas is relatively dry down to the mid levels of the atmosphere from above. So here's this area of interest right here, just off the Yucatan Peninsula that we're going to probably be watching here over the next week or so. It's supposed to move into the Gulf, but the idea is kind of uncertain which way it's going to track. It's either going to kind of develop this way and just meander west into Mexico, maybe the southern tip of Texas. A couple other models, including the Canadian, take it actually this way across Florida and even up across the eastern Carolinas. And this is over the next week or so, so we're going to have to watch it pretty closely. Here's our other area of interest out here. Here's the tropical wave, Invest 92L. It's moving this way. And the question is it going to strengthen as it continues its westward track? Right now on water vapor imagery, it's not looking too deep at all. It's kind of looking a little disorganized at this point. And it's also running into a lot of Saharan dry air and dust. And this area in here has a lot of shear. This area in here has a lot of upper atmospheric shear as well, which really is going to limit the development of this thing right here as it continues its westward track across the Atlantic Ocean. Over here across Africa, we can see a lot of tropical wave activity moving across the equator. All of these little blobs on water vapor are actually atmospheric or tropical waves, I should say, that move across Africa and then move offshore and then strengthen once they get over water. So we're really going to have to watch all this flare-up of activity across Africa in the coming weeks, because this is just really active right now, and it could mean that anything could pop off here as it moves westward. Elsewhere, looking at the Pacific jet stream, lots of moisture transport all the way from Japan and across the northern Pacific, and it looks like it's just going to be a lot of moisture transporting from west to east here into the west coast and into the central U.S. This is fueling lots of severe weather across Missouri and across the Dakotas and even Kansas. My mom lives out in western Kansas on a contract assignment, and she said that she got some pretty decent hail yesterday. And I actually missed it because I was moving out of my old apartment still, and I was cleaning up and scrubbing the place. And I'll tell you, it uses every single bone in your muscle in your body. And at 36 years old, starting to feel it a little bit, but that's no excuse. You need to get in shape. So this is the stream of moisture that's just fueling all the showers and storms across the central part of the United States, and also heading into the eastern part of the United States as well. We're looking at a continued rain this weekend across much of the east. It's not going to be really letting up. It's just going to be sticky and moist and humid for much of the weekend here, and maybe even the coming weeks. Switching over to the infrared satellite imagery right now, here is this little area of disturbed weather in here. Really not a whole lot of organized activity. Here comes this huge thunderstorm complex across Missouri. Very dangerous situation up there tonight. This system is going to blow up and probably push into southern Missouri and Arkansas, and then into maybe the deep south in New Orleans by late morning. But we're looking at this area down here. The tropics are really getting active, but nothing really overall that organized. A little bit of circulation down in here, and this is going to be our area of interest. I don't know why the National Hurricane Center has something here over the Yucatan, because this is the area right here where it's looking like it's going to be a little bit of circulation. So this is the latest satellite imagery. They might update their forecast based upon this area right here. It's not really looking that organized right now, so not really sure what's going to come of this, although there is some thunderstorms and some flare-up activity on the east side of whatever disturbance this is at lower levels. So this system could be honestly, the way that this thing is moving right now, it could just move out to sea, and then everybody thinking it's going to be in the Gulf, it might just be non-existent at that point. We can't really see the other disturbance here. Maybe we can actually zoom out to the infrared satellite imagery. There we go. Here's this big area of disturbed weather here. Again, this wave is not looking too organized. There's another little area of thunderstorms behind it that could get going too, but these things tend to die out if it's really a lot of dry air and non-favorable conditions with all the dust and whatnot off the coast of Africa. So you can still see the Pacific jet stream out here in the west, which is going to keep the storms and the storminess in the east around for quite some time. And this is what has been keeping the summer a little bit below average and rainier than usual. And I don't see that letting up anytime soon. I mean, look at all this moisture here over eastern Asia. It's just constant. It's not letting up. So I don't know. The models like to create a lot of heat waves here in the east, but to tell you the truth, I'm not really seeing that because it's just the jet stream and the current observations trump, no pun intended, the models here in the forecast. So let's take a look here at the models and what the models are saying. Okay, we're looking at the Euro model here, and we're looking at low-level atmospheric energy and also mean sea level pressure isobars here. Now, the Euro takes this little system here across the Yucatan Peninsula that we were just looking at, and it kind of just has it really as a weak depression, and it kind of just goes into eastern Mexico and fizzles out, and that's pretty much all she wrote. Just a lot of rain there for eastern Mexico, maybe the southern tip of Texas, and that's really it. That thing will be old news by Friday the 23rd. By next week, it's going to be gone and out of the picture. And would you look at this? The Euro lost that disturbance, that's that wave that's across the southern Atlantic right now that the National Hurricane Center has blowing up into a 60% chance of development. That's going to turn into a 0 chance of development because that thing was looking weak and disorganized, and it's not going to really do much here east of the Leeward Islands. But here comes another wave off the west coast of Africa. Next week sometime, this is one of those waves we were looking at, and the computer models are taking that wave and just moving it off the coast of Africa. And again, the shear and the dry air just kill this thing, and it really shoots it all to pieces, and nothing really happens with that. Let's move back to the mainland of the United States here and see what the forecast trend is for this coming week and maybe even a little bit beyond, but we're just going to see what's going on in the short range. Okay, so this is the GFS model. I'm looking at a lot of the eastern part of the United States. Lots of rain and dreary weather this coming weekend, Saturday and the Sunday. A little thorn in our side down there, disturbance along the deep south Gulf Coast, bringing lots of rain and storms down there. This could be probably the remnants of that severe thunderstorm complex that was over the Missouri area later today. Bunch of little disturbances moving up the coast here, bringing rains and showers and storms all weekend into Sunday as well. Very wet across the east here on Sundays. You can see in the bottom right panel right there. Here comes a big deep trough in the upper level atmosphere of the jet stream, and this is going to bring some rainy and cooler weather into late Monday into early Tuesday. The GFS likes to bring that tropical disturbance into the Florida Panhandle, but I'm not really buying that at this point. That would be a very erratic change if that was the case. And here comes some energy here up the south. This is probably that front that's going to move through on Tuesday, which could bring some nasty severe thunderstorms to much of the east, all the way from New England down into the Georgia. So be very aware of the weather on Tuesday because there could be some powerful severe thunderstorms along with that cold front that moves through. Much chillier, drier air moves in to the northeast, and wet and remaining unsettled and soggy in the southeast, including Florida, through Wednesday of next week. Still very unsettled up in the northeast, including D.C., Philly, New York. Rainy and stormy and cloudy into Wednesday of next week, even after they cool off. But it's still going to remain very unsettled with all that moisture coming in from the west. The jet stream very unsettled and active across the northern part of the United States. Looks like we could have a couple days there that are dry in the northeast, but look at Florida down there, right down here. They're going to be wet through much of next week as well, and they go from really dry and drought conditions to can't catch a break from the rain. Looking into next weekend, we're looking at more showers and storms across the Northeast and even the Southeast here in the Carolinas, as it's going to be unsettled with all that moisture streaming in from the Pacific Ocean.